Welcome back for another deep dive. We've got the sources you sent over, and today we're tackling a really interesting one from Mobile Suit Gundam SEED, the GAT-X370 Raider Gundam.
Yeah, this one's got layers.
Definitely. So our plan is to unpack this thing, the transformation, the tech, the pilot, all based on what's in these materials.
And figure out its place in the whole Alliance versus ZAFT conflict.
Exactly. For me, what really stands out is how it shows the Earth Alliance pushing the envelope, trying these, well, sometimes pretty flawed ideas to catch up, you know?
Yeah, it definitely comes through in the sources. They paint the Raider as basically part of that second wave of GAT-X prototypes.
Built for speed, right? Hit and run.
Precisely. High mobility, quick strikes. It's designed to transform between the mobile suit form and a fast mobile armor mode.
And it wasn't alone, was it? Part of that group.
Right. It debuted alongside the Calamity and Forbidden Gundams. That trio.
Okay, let's get into the tech because there's some clever stuff here. The armor, for instance. TP armor.
Ah, yes, transphase armor. Well, it's an evolution of the standard phase shift armor we see on the other GAT-X units.
How's it different?
Okay, so instead of being on all the time, TP armor has like two layers. There's a standard outer layer and then an interface shift layer that only activates if that outer layer gets breached.
Ah, so it saves energy.
Big time. That's the key insight from the source's drastically lower power consumption. Means it can run longer and, crucially, dedicate more juice to its beam weapons.
Interesting. And the sources mentioned it doesn't change color like regular PS armor.
Yeah, that's a little detail they point out. No visual color shift when it activates. Kind of sneaky.
That energy saving ties into the pilot situation too, doesn't it? The whole biological CPU concept.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
This is where things get, well, a bit grim, frankly.
Yeah. What are biological CPUs based on these notes?
The sources describe them as humans, artificially enhanced, implants, conditioning, all designed to boost their abilities, try to match coordinators.
But there's a catch.
A big one. They were dependent on this drug, gamma-glypheptin. It boosted performance, sure, but caused severe withdrawal.
And the Raiders pilot, Clotho Buer, he was one of them.
Yes. Described as really volatile, shouting game-like phrases in combat, but the sources link his limitations, his need for the drug, directly to the Raiders' tactics.
So the hit and run wasn't just about the suit's design. It was partly because the pilot couldn't handle long fights.
Exactly. The machine's strategy was tied to the pilot's instability. It's a fascinating, if dark, connection.
Wow. Okay, what about weapons? What makes the Raider stand out there?
It's got some unique gear, definitely integrated with the transformation. The signature one is probably the Zorn 100mm energy cannon.
The mouth cannon.
Yeah, the mouth cannon, usable in both modes. Then there's the Mjolnir, that spherical hammer on a cable.
The space mace? Look cool, but vulnerable.
The sources do note the mace ball itself could be destroyed by beam and sabers, yeah. It doubled as a shield, though, and it had a dual shield cannon, too.
What about specific MA mode weapons?
Right, in MA mode, it had shoulder machine guns, one in the nose, and then the big ones. The Ahura Mazda plasma cannons built into its claws.
Plasma cannons and beam claws.
Seems like it, yeah. Integrated right into those big gripping claws. Very focused on that transform mode's attack power.
So looking at its development, it wasn't built from scratch, was it? Related to the Aegis.
Good point. The sources trace it to the X300 frame lineage, which it shares with the Aegis. Shows the Alliance was working on transformable suits.
But the Raider's transformation was simpler.
Yeah, simplified compared to Aegis, seemingly for speed and reliability. Focused on that one fast MA mode.
And it was designed for atmospheric flight, even carrying other suits.
Yeah, designed to fly in atmosphere and could apparently act as a sub-flight system for units like the Calamity. Gave them more tactical flexibility.
Okay, so combat history. Debuted at Orb.
That's right, the Battle of Orb. Went up against the Freedom and Justice.
How'd that go?
Well, the sources suggest the pilot issues, the bio-CPU instability and drug effects really hampered its effectiveness, even with the advanced suit. Had to retreat. The Mjolnir got busted there, too.
And its final fight.
After Orb, it went to space, assigned to the Dominion. Its end came at the Second Battle of Jetchin-Du.
Destroyed by?
Wyzak Jewel in the Dual Gundam. Used the Buster Gundam's rifle, interestingly enough.
So one of the original ZAFT Gundams takes out this newer, specialized Alliance machine.
Kind of symbolic, isn't it? The classic setup overcoming the high-tech but unstable new approach.
Does the Raider have any kind of legacy, according to the sources, variants or anything?
Yeah, brief mentions of later variants like the Gelb Raider and Boost Raider pop up in some materials. In universe, the design definitely contributed knowledge for later transformable suits.
And then out here, in the real world.
Oh, it's popular. Plenty of Gunplum model kits, high grade, full mechanics. People love that transformation. Shows up in games too.
So, summing it up, the Raider Gundam, defined by speed, that clever TP armor, unique weapons, and this really critical, very troubled connection to its biological CPU pilot.
It really is a snapshot of the Alliance's desperate scramble for an edge, technology pushing boundaries, but with that heavy human cost baked in.
Understanding the Raider really gives you insight into both the tech race and the ethical gray areas of the war in SEED.
Definitely.
Which leads to a final thought, based on these sources. Looking at Clotho Buer, looking at the whole biological CPU program, does that kind of forced enhancement, creating these powerful but ultimately unstable independent pilots, ever truly justify the strategic gains? Something for you to chew on.